Well, here we are for another F1 My Team episode, and fingers crossed by the time this video goes out, social media should still be down, so fingers crossed most of you are on YouTube watching this video. But anyway, welcome back guys to another My Team video. This one is the Mexican Grand Prix. Now, before we jump into it, if you guys haven't seen the previous one, which was very deciding and crucial for the championship, then go watch it. Spoilers are ahead, so you've been given a fair warning. Now this weekend you can see we've got rain forecast for qualifying. In regards to upgrades, you can see we are currently third. Mercedes have re-overtaken us, and right now, after the last race in the USA where we finished in P7, we are no longer in contention for the World Drivers' Championship. We're mathematically out of the race. It's not possible for us to win. So the final 3 races are just going to be a bit of fun. Or actually final 4 technically if you include this one. So yeah, we're just having a bit of fun and see what happens. Hopefully we can try and secure second place in the Drivers' Championship. It's a good battle right now between Bottas, myself, and Perez and Hamilton. So we'll see what happens. But we jump into qualifying this weekend at Mexico. And this is actually one of my better circuits of the entire calendar. So I'm hoping to have a good weekend and show some true pace. After qualifying, or our first running qualifying more like, we go P8. Then eventually we got pushed down to P10. I actually went for a second push lap on the same tyres, and I managed to find about 2/10 in the final sector especially. There's a lot of time left on the table here as we make our way through the final corners. We're going to end the lap with a bit of a mistake at the final corner, but still improving by about 0.4 of a second and jumping up into the top 8 once again. And that lap will be enough for us to jump into Q2 quite comfortably there in P12. Only 0.3 of Schwartzman, which is much closer than we have been in qualifying in the last few races. Red Bull and AlphaTauri 1, 2, 3, 4 looking very strong already this weekend. And yeah, it looks like we're locked in a battle right now with Mercedes. So heading to Q2, my best lap is actually my first one because rain is going to hit later on. So let's enjoy a full lap of Mexico. I'll let you guys have this one with some engine sound before the wet weather comes and disrupts everything. So let's see if we can do a decent lap and move into Q3 here. And there we go, across the line, decent enough, 11.4, which is not too shabby. We go P5, and to be fair, the car felt pretty decent on that lap, honestly. I then went back out again at the end of Q2, and on my first lap, the rain hadn't quite hit yet, and it was around now when I realised the first few drops were starting to fall, and unfortunately I invalidated, which was a real shame because that was probably going to be our last chance, and we're currently in 8th place, so we're at risk of maybe being eliminated here. On to the final runs, we're currently P9, and I was trying to improve, but the track started to get a bit too wet as we have a moment in the S's there getting kind of dragged away by a curb, almost having a bit of an auto spin. And luckily for us, even with a scruffy final run, the first lap was enough, and for the first time in a while we move into Q3 alongside Robert Schwartzman. So a big sigh of relief after that one. That was a bit of a moment we had there, but we got through and got the job done. And the big surprise is Tsunoda being out in P12. You know, the AlphaTauri looking very strong so far, but Yuki not making it in. Ricciardo also out. Now for Q3, I was the first car out on track. Perez eventually overtook me on my outlap, and we're only going to get one time lap in this entire Q3 session because the rain is still coming down at an increased rate. It still dries, but it's not far from inters, so every lap that you get is going to be crucial. In this case, I only got one time lap in. It wasn't great, it wasn't super clean. We did a 1 minute 16.0, which is a long way off the previous pace we was doing. And we're P3 right now behind both Red Bulls as Verstappen goes fastest. But luckily for us, nobody else after that really was able to improve. So P3 for us in Q3 with that mixed conditions lap time, and the benefits of going out early pay off for us as we get a second row around Mexico alongside Lando Norris and Schwartzman P5, meaning both cars ahead of the Mercedes cars, which is awesome, and in the top 5 positions, which is really, really good. So yeah, Red Bull 1-2, they're going to be super strong in the race. I think realistically we need to target for P3 and P4, both myself and Robert Schwartzman. But anyway, there's your grid. Let's jump into the race and let's see if we can make that prediction a reality.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Martinez, Norris, Carlos Sainz and Bottas, Gasly, Hamilton, Ricciardo and Lance Stroll, Vettel, Russell, Robert Schwartzman and Matsushita, Giovinazzi, Lundgaard, Nicholas Latifi and Charles Leclerc, Mick Schumacher, Mazepin, Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, so we're here on the grid for the Mexican Grand Prix. We start from 3rd place, which is pretty promising, and I think we've got a strong chance of points here today, and dare I say, maybe even a podium. I feel like the race pace has been a little bit off lately, but this is a better track for us. It has been historically one of our stronger ones, so I think we should have the car to compete around here. So I'm looking forward to it. What we are going to do is make a small modification to the tyre pressures. So we're going to go ahead and just adjust them a little bit. So the one that gets the least stress around here is the front right. We'll go and add on a +1 to the rest and then leave the left rear at the lowest, as that's the one that's most prone to overheating. So yeah, that aside, we're looking pretty decent. Strategy, soft, medium, soft by the looks of it. Fuel wise, I've learnt my lesson. I'm going to go 1 lap under. I could go a bit more, but we'll go for 1 lap now and see if that's still not enough. We can do more fuel saving in future races. So yeah, let's jump into it. Let's try and see if we can get a decent race out of this. Obviously we're out of the race for the Drivers' Championship, but let's see if we can still put up a good fight and make things a bit interesting between the top contenders. Okay, let's do this. 5 lights are on. Long run down to turn 1. Let's make it a good start. Lights down, away we go. It's not my best start, but we do get the jump on Perez. Verstappen gets off to an absolute missile of a start. Norris and Perez cruising by. We seem to lack a bit of straight line speed here as we get swallowed up and engulfed by the pack. Oh my god. Into turn 1. We've dropped from P2 at one point after the start down to P7 as we try to survive here in the melee and all the chaos. But we're down to 8th place, which is not what I had in mind. And up here, Gasly attacking down the outside here as we head into Sector 2. Let's see if I can find something here. No, maybe not. We hit the back of Sainz for a 2nd time this race. Going to try and go around the outside of Gasly, and we're going to get Carlos as well, maybe here. Trying to fight back. Going to go up the inside and get that position back at least on Sainz as we get a warning for track limits already, which is not going to help out that situation. Looks like we've got a bit of slow AI cars here. We're going to get the run of Ricciardo as Hamilton goes up the inside of Bottas. I think Bottas may have wing damage. We're going to follow him through. Can we get Lewis around the outside? Yes. Oh, what a recovery. Wow. What an insane end to the lap. And I think Perez has wing damage, so we're going to move up to P3. Yes, we do. Well, we'll take that. What a crazy second half of the first lap, but we're back in the top 3. Lando up to 2nd. Verstappen already 6.4 seconds clear. He's absolutely disappeared out front. But crucially, we've got ourselves back into the podium places. And that's all that matters right now. So let's go after Lando. Let's try and get that 2nd place back. And then we'll see if we have any pace to chase after Verstappen, who looks very strong here this weekend. Okay, I think we've got DRS on Lando. Should be close, but I think I've done enough. Maybe we haven't. Okay, fair enough. So Lewis is going to be the threat now all of a sudden. We're going to have to watch out. Here comes the Mercedes. We are down on straight line speed by the looks of it. Lewis down the inside of turn 1. We're going to try and fight this. Around the outside. Oh no, dearie me. That's not part of the plan. Tried a bit too hard there to fight back. Luckily, we're going to get away with it. I think we're going to hold on to P4 somehow, but we are a long way away. And my rear tyres are going to be on fire. Yes, they are. Oh. Let's try and get back into this race, but that was not part of the plan. Now, Schwartzman's in the pit lane, so looks like possible damage for him, which is a shame. And that's him out of contention for the top 6 running. I was trying to get my pace back under control. I think Ricciardo has damage behind in the McLaren as we try to close up on Hamilton and Lando up ahead. Hamilton and Norris pretty much spent the entire lap going side by side, and I think actually Hamilton's got damage from it, so the AI is seemingly having issues with wheel-to-wheel combat in this race. So we're back up to P3, we're ahead of Lewis again, and Lando just 2.3 seconds up the road, so let's try and see if we can get back within DRS. Verstappen 15 seconds clear already. What a crazy start to the race, but Verstappen looking so dominant right now. Okay, now we're closing in on Lando.
Tyre condition is still looking good.
Okay, that's good to know. Even after that half spin, we've still kept our tyres pretty well actually. I've done a good job of bringing them back to life and not killing them off too much, but now we're going to try and pass Lando here. Rear tyre weather is starting to kick in regardless, because it's a very rear limited circuit, this one. The adjustment.
We've been informed of an incident which has resulted in lots of loose debris on the track. The safety car is being deployed.
Okay.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
This is good actually.
Some information on Vettel. They're retiring from the race. Overtake the safety car.
Yes,
You may
come on,
overtake
Jeff.
the
Like,
safety car.
I
is
got it.
waiting to pick
Come
up
on.
the leader.
Right, so Seb's crashed down the middle sector. I saw on the minimap his car, and Tsunoda happens to have just retired as well. We're going to box for mediums this lap then.
Confirmed.
Yeah, we'll go for that, whatever the team say. We've got 2 fresh sets of medium, so we may as well use them. Now, this is good. It brings us back into play with Verstappen. It's a clean slate, fresh set of tyres, and we can fight back. So all of a sudden, the win might be back on the cards here. So we're going to box this lap.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
And let's get those medium tyres on. As I mentioned, the rear tyre wear becoming an issue, so we'll run with a lower diff. Alright, let's push the delta here a little bit and see how close we can get. Verstappen pits. Lando stays out. Wow. Interesting. Right, so this is going to be a free position gain. Verstappen's gone for the soft tyre. We're going to go for the medium, of course, and then we might come back to the soft later. So let's get that medium stint out of the way, most importantly.
Release.
Looks like Stroll's going to get us though. He's not pit yet, he started on the hard tyre. We're going to rejoin in P4.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Right, so that's that done. We don't have any fresh sets of softs remaining. We do have a fresh set of mediums though, so we'll judge that. It gives us the option of a very early undercut if necessary before the next pit window. So let's get ready for the restart. Okay, let's do this. It's time for the restart. Let's make sure it's a decent one. We're going to have Stroll on the hard tyre. Most likely struggling for pace. And away we go for the restart. Now we know our straight line
Okay,
speed.
the incident has been cleared. Let's get back up to racing speed.
Yep. We know that straight line speed isn't that great, so we're going to have to make do with what we've got for now. You can see here we're all having to use ERS to stay in the train. Going to be careful as Lando leads away the restart. Of course, he still hasn't pit yet, so he's still on the soft tyres that he started the race on. Let's see if I can get Stroll here though. We know the straight line speed isn't there, but I've had a good exit. I'm right in his gearbox. I'm going to force him to pull out the slipstream. I'm going to go the long way round. No,
Check your
what?
MFD for a new strategy option.
Oh, no. I'm pretty sure Stroll just locked up into me. I ran straight on. Oh, we're screwed. We're so screwed.
Copy.
Oh, mate, we've got some bad wing damage. This race has fallen apart.
Right, come in at the end of this lap.
I'm not going to make it. I'm going to have to go for the hard tyre, I think. Yeah, go for the hard tyre. Here they come. Can't do anything right now. Me and Stroll both have wing damage. We're just creating a massive roadblock. Oh, God's sake. So frustrating. Yellow flag behind. Into the pits we go. I'm going to try and overtake Stroll to the pit lane. Oh, that was a cheeky move. Right, here we go. Let's get the hard tyres on. We're going to go to the end on those. Hopefully we can make it. Lando pits as well. So Verstappen already is like 15 seconds clear again. It's amazing how this has worked out for Max today. Front wing change, not ideal either. Pretty good thing we've got the extra downforce on because we're going to need it on these tyres.
Complete, go now.
Away we go. So the AI go for the soft tyre, they're going to stop again. We're going to try and go to the end on these.
Okay, you only have to stop once now. One stop left.
Right, let's crack on. Let's see what we can do. Both Mercs having to pit and stag, by the way, which is massive for the championship. This pretty much is going to wrap things up for Verstappen today, I think. Anyway, let's see what kind of pace we have on these and can we somehow get back into this crazy race. More cars in the pit lane and a yellow flag at turn 1.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
It's legit all kicking off this race. It's going absolutely bonkers. I don't have any pace on these right now. These tyres are not the ones to be on, but we're going to try and get back into this race. We've got to just try and drive through it and make them work. So let's see. We've had a incident further ahead. They seem to have got going again, but we might have more cars in the pit lane. It seems like all form of driving standards seem to have disappeared in this race. And there we go, more cars in the pit lane. Stroll's going to pass me here. Not much I can really do about it. He's just faster right now, combined with the straight line speed. We'll let him just take the race in line and we'll just see if I can stay within a second. If I can do that, that's probably going to be a good thing for us. Oh my god, not again. Oof. I swear man, these brakes are deadly. I don't enjoy driving these cars anymore. Another car in the pit lane, this is Christian Lundgaard. I've not been able to keep up, by the way. Stroll's dropped me. There's just no pace in these tyres right now. Even an Aston Martin can pull away from me, so we'll just keep chipping away. Hopefully in a couple laps time we'll have the advantage in getting back. Oh my god, another car. Perez in the pit lane now. Literally every lap there's a car in the pits because of some form of damage. Perez also going for the hard tyre. We're now P11, which means both Haas cars are running in the points right now, which is insane enough as it is, as we close up now to Mazepin. And there we go, Stroll going for the move on Mazepin and getting it done before the brake zone, but that's going to bring us into play now. Let's see if we can get past Mazepin relatively quickly. Dare I say he may have to pit soon, in fairness. I think he might stay out one more lap. Either way, we've got the advantage, so let's use it. And try and slingshot back onto Stroll and his DRS. Here we go. It's amazing how Mazepin still has DRS, but he was so slow through that final part of the lap. We had no progress. Look at this, we're going to get the double DRS now as well, so we're going to get right onto the back of Lance here. Let's see if we can stay there this time. Now we're stuck behind Schumacher, who I believe also has to pit. I've got a better pace this time. I'm able to keep up with Stroll. I did so on the pit straight. Let's see what happens here between Lance and Mick. May kick off. We may get a chance to pass them both. You never know. I'm really struggling through here though. The curbs are super unstable. At least with them to set up and running right now. I have no confidence pushing the car. But there we go. Stroll's going to go for it. I'm going to try and follow through as we got the inside of Schumacher there. I think Schumacher's going to pit anyways, but couldn't afford to lose too much time through here. Important to stay within a second of Lance. He's going to be the one to drag me along this stint. And we've got Ricciardo in the pit lane from McLaren. Schumacher pits, as I expected. Right, let's keep driving away. Ricciardo actually rejoins ahead of us, so good to know. Schwartzman in the pit lane, along with a few other cars. We're going for mediums and going to the end by the looks of it, so we'll see. If we can get these to the end, we could finish quite high in terms of position, but we're going to have to make these last, to be honest. Okay, Stroll's softs have now gone, so we're going to pass him now. He's served his purpose in our race, which is to give us DRS in the first few laps in the hard tyre. But once his pace faded, I have to pass him, and now is the time. Let's try and get some clean air. Here we go. Can we get ahead before turn 1? We are lacking straight line speed quite badly, to be honest. We're not really causing much of an issue. Down the inside though, we get the move done, and we'll get the double DRS for good measure so we can drive off into the sunset. Let's push on here. We've got Russell and Leclerc in the pit lane, so up to P3 now. This is for net position. If we can hold on to this pace, we've got a chance to get a podium still after everything that's happened this race, which would be crazy. But we've got to really make sure we somehow keep this pace up and make these tyres last to the very end of the race, which is going to be a challenge in itself. The pace right now is pretty decent. I'm not a million miles away. Leclerc's about half a second a lap faster than me, so he will catch. But can I keep him behind? That's the question. I think Norris is a bit too far back unless he gains like a second a lap. I don't think he'll catch me, so right now I think we can hold on to this, or near enough. We've got to try and hold on. There's still 10 laps to go, so I don't want to sing victory too soon. Tyre looks fine, so we're going to make it. It's all about whether we can keep the pace up, though. That's the key thing here. As the rear tyres start to fade. 7 laps to go. Leclerc closing in. Lando is not closing in. His pace is pretty much identical to mine right now, so it's going to be if Leclerc can take away our podium or not. Well, the tyre wear indicator has just come up in the bottom right, which means one of our tyres is over 60% worn. That's the left rear. 3 laps to go. I think we're going to make it on tyre wear. And right now, the gap is actually going up slightly to Leclerc. It's back over 3 seconds. It did get as low as 2.3 at one point. And we're also catching back up to Ricciardo now as well. So I think the tyre wear playing field is levelling out a bit. And we've driven through the worst of it. Now it's just about making sure we make no mistakes and bring this one home in the remaining couple of laps. Hamilton on the charge behind, but he's a lap down right now, so we won't take long to let him by. Right, we'll let Lewis unlap himself, see what kind of pace he has. Fingers crossed he can pull out of DRS range. So here we go, we'll let him go to the left. Come on, Lewis, get ahead, please. Oh, locking the rears down the braking. Let's see if Lewis has the pace to get a 1 second gap. I won't use any energy. No, he's going to pull over. This is what I don't want to happen. This is the worst case scenario. Lewis again going through. I'll let him go. See if this time maybe he can pull away. Come on, Lewis, drive. Drive, drive, drive. On to the last lap, we should be okay though. I don't think Leclerc is going to be close enough. So Verstappen's already won. He's 40 seconds up the road. My FPS has gone all funny, I'm guessing because of the confetti going off in the stadium section, so I apologise for that if it shows up in the video. There's my second warning for track limits, so let's be careful now. Left rear on 69%, so we'll be around 70 when we cross the line. So we've managed to make these tyres get to the end and make the strategy work, and somehow, out of absolutely nowhere and out of nothing this race, by going long on the hard tyre, we've managed to pull out a podium, which I'll happily take. So here we go, final corner, Verstappen wins, and I believe that's a championship for him, and we finished P3.
Nice work, you did well today. I think the boss will be happy with that one.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Red Bull today. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work and they should be proud of the victory they secured here.
Well, there we go then. Race done, and to be fair, I'll take that P3. You know, we started P3, we finished P3, and considering we did a pretty crazy strategy, I'm very happy that we got some very decent points. But Verstappen wins it ahead of Ricciardo, ahead of ourselves, then Leclerc P4 for Ferrari, ahead of Lando, Perez, Bottas, Russell, Stroll, Sainz, and you know, Verstappen's going to be happy. His two main rivals, Bottas and Perez, P6 and P7, which is pretty poor. Latifi P11 just missing out on the points for Williams, along with Gasly P12 for the fastest lap. Masashita, Ocon, Lundgaard, Giovinazzi, Schumacher, Hamilton, Mazepin, Schwartzman, Tsunoda and Vettel all out of the points here today. So let's look at the championship. I don't think Verstappen's actually won it yet. I think he needs a bit more. So I think there's 3 races to go, and with 75 points up for grabs, it's looking pretty ominous right now. Bottas needs to outscore Verstappen by 9 points in the next race to stay in it. Ideally 10, to be honest with you. Perez, though, is now mathematically out of the running. So it's a two-way fight, Bottas versus Verstappen. Meanwhile, Schwartzman gets overtaken by Leclerc for P13. We are chilling right now in P4. And in the Constructors, we're P3. And that's pretty much officially locked in. So there's a lot for the race. Let's move into upgrades. Now, after that race, we actually outscore Lewis again. So making progress. The rivalry locked at 22 points apiece with 2 races to go, so it could go either way, to be honest. Acclaim wise, we are going to level up to level 16 as a driver, Schwartzman closing in on level 10, and yeah, decent progress all round. Finally, we'll look at cash payouts, of course, sponsorship and all that stuff. Title sponsors and secondary sponsors are going to not give us the full payout this weekend, which is a bit of a shame. I'm not sure why the Atlantic one didn't work out, even though we've done double the laps. Apparently we failed it for some reason, not quite sure why. Again, probably more bugs with the game. Cash wise though, we're nearly at 13 mil. So we're back in the office, and I'm going to be honest, we cannot afford an upgrade / we don't have any left. Honestly, we don't have anything to really go for. Let's do the activities and get those out of the way. We'll go for some reaction training, but let me run you through it. So we've maxed out the aero. We've got the final upgrade on the way, if I can show you that real quick. So you can see this one is on the way in 17 days time, and that would officially max out the aero. On the chassis, we've got the brake upgrade, which you guys know I'm not going to do because the brakes are horrible right now and I don't want to make them any worse. And besides that, we've done everything except for suspension geometry, which is the only one we have left on the chassis. We cannot afford it right now. Engine wise, you can see here we've got all of them except for a fuel injection, and that's it pretty much. So 1 left on the chassis, 1 left on the engine, then there's a few durability ones left over, but they're not really that urgent right now. So we're just going to sit on the points, to be honest, and see if we can get those final performance upgrades on the car before next season. So we'll skip ahead to the next race in Brazil and call it a day. And yeah, that is it from me here today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for more as we do daily content on this channel, of course. Let's try and break over 1,000 likes on this one. I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, a big shout out goes to the members of the channel for supporting the content. Finally, check out the 2 videos on screen, give them a watch, you might enjoy them, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, and let's goodbye from me.